share equal pay. So, like we said in the morning, we hope other countries will follow suit and also be encouraging their women in order for them to do great stuff. For LMC, we give them kudos for getting indeed done. Talking about the partnership with Red Strike Sports, say commercial investment deal that will also help to promote the Nigerian Professional Football League. And in boxing, Efe Ajagba has vowed to dethrone Anthony Joshua. These are many more coming your way on your favorite sports show. We've got us Sammy Bright, Black Sports, as well with us this episode. Together, the three of us will take you around the world of sports. Guys, good evening. Let's begin from what will happen tonight in Germany. The UEFA Nations League has started, and the two teams facing each other tonight, they are really huge. Germany and Spain. What are we expecting, though? It's going to be group games. This will not just be the one and only game. They are going to be blood. The two of them, we are hoping that maybe the two will get the ticket from the group that they are tonight. But they are going to be facing each other. Joachim Low taking on Luis Enrique.
Well, the two teams that you rightly mentioned, 2010 and 2014 respectively, the one called the far-fetched right now from that kind of performances from when Spain dominated the European scene and the world from 2008, 2010, and the World Cup in 2012 when they went defending and won the Nations Cup again. You saw the team that came to the 2014 World Cup. They were far from that Spanish team that we know, and 2018 was worse than what we saw in 2014. For Germany, after winning it in Brazil, coming to the 2018 World Cup in Russia, they were not really a force to be reckoned with in that tournament. So they are trying to build a new thing. If you look at the Spanish team now, yes, the experience there, talking about the likes of Sergio Ramos, captain, and others are coming in to build a new Spanish team. The last time in this Nations League, it wasn't really a glamorous one for the Spanish team. They go over to Germany. They are trying to build a team around the younger ones now, like Kai Havertz is 21, 22 these days, and others coming in trying to build a team. We're going to see a great game tonight. I don't know, because the last time both of them played in this same tournament, Spain got the better of the Germans. Hopefully that today they will produce something fantastic, but I'm not expecting them to blow our minds like if it were 5 years back with both teams. Obviously to be a very, very tactical game. Like I said, they are rebuilding, and that's one thing I've loved about both national teams. They failed, they qualified for tournament, but they've not really done well, but they've been able, because of their various leagues, the Bundesliga and La Liga, to build the team again. Maybe in Euro 2021, that's the Euro 2020 next year, maybe we can say yes, these two teams have built a fantastic squad that could go ahead and win a tournament.
Germany and Spain, that's a mouth-watering encounter anytime they are playing. Yeah. Whether it is a friendly game, whether it is a competitive game, I think we are going to see a very good encounter, and this is competitive, the Nations League. So Germany in particular, I think that immediately after the 2014 World Cup, they started getting it wrong. I watched them at the 2006 World Cup, which they hosted, and I just felt that this team was going to be good enough to win the World Cup someday. They finished it, coached by Jürgen Klinsmann. Joachim Low was his assistant then, and 4 years later it was Joachim Low that led them to the World Cup in South Africa in 2010. And when I saw them at the 2010 World Cup, I just said, this team will win the World Cup. They are going to win the next World Cup. You saw the way they dispatched Argentina. You saw the way they eliminated England. So I just knew that they had it in them. Thomas Muller was just coming up then, and we saw how we exploded in 2014, and they went on to win the World Cup. But they just got it, something just went wrong for them in the next World Cup in 2018. And now you have many young players, and they're not just young players. People like Kai Havertz, they're talking about generational talent. Yeah. People like Timo Werner, people like sorry, just coming in. Let's not forget people like Julian Draxler also still there, waiting. So they've got so many talented players who are at a very good age, and they have also a good number of veterans, experienced players. Their goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer, is still there. They've got Andre Ter Stegen of Barcelona. Also, so you see, they got two of the best goalkeepers in the world in one team, and that's it for almost every position. They've got quality players. You saw what happened with the Bayern Munich team that went to win the World Cup. Some very key positions there are manned by German players, so you expect that they are going to do well. So I think that the next World Cup for both sides, I think it's going to be much better than what we saw in both 2014 and 2014 Germany won it for Spain. 2014 was horrible. You recall how they were humiliated by Robin van Persie and the Dutch national team and all that. So I expect a classic. I expect a very good one. This is one fixture that just leaps out of the page. Of course, when you are having a European competition, you tend to see what ordinarily will be the semi-final or even the final of the World Cup based on the quality of the opposition. And that's why some say it's even more difficult to win the Euros than to win the World Cup, because in the Euros you've got all the top teams, even when they were a 16-nation tournament or a 24-nation tournament. So even from the group, it's usually very difficult. But at the World Cup, because you now have to reduce the number of European teams, it's still the largest, but we'll say reduce because they get 13 slots at the World Cup. But because the group now will have at most just 2 European teams, so they don't play against teams that are of a particular level. So they could play against a team and they end up thrashing the team 3-0, 4-0 and all that. But you hardly find that at the Euros, and that's why people tend to think that it's more difficult winning the Euros, that the quality of the Euros is much higher than that of the World Cup. So when you see a fixture like in Germany versus Spain, this is what you expect to see at the semi-final of the World Cup. But if this were the final of the World Cup, you would be looking forward to a huge game. So in this round of the qualifiers, this round of the Nations League, I mean, this is one that just absolutely leaps out of the page, and I expect that we are going to see a very good encounter.
Our match is placed later tonight in Stuttgart, and it's going to be the first match of the UEFA Nations League, and it's going to be in Group 4 of League A, as both sides look to better their performance from the last edition, which was won by Portugal, where Cristiano Ronaldo led them to victory in that tournament. So this year we have another champions at the end of the day. Okay, and for the both teams, they've played each other 23 times. Looking at the head-to-head right now, with Germany winning 9 and Spain winning 7 on those games. And for Germany, they won only one of the last 5 games, though when they won an international friendly in 2014. So it's going to be a thrilling encounter, just like we predicted. And looking at the team news for Joachim Low, he has not caught up most of the Bayern Munich stars who played in the UEFA Champions League final, where they won it over beating the PSG in the final. And Jan is also going to give some players the opportunity to also play in this tournament. Okay, the possible lineup for the two sides this evening, we have Germany playing 3-5-2 with Kevin Trapp, Matthias Ginter, Niklas Sula, and Antonio Rudiger. Theo Kehrer, Toni Kroos, Eke Gundogan, Emre Can, Nico Charles, and Leroy Sané, while Timo Werner will lead the attack. Then for the Spain, the present 11 playing 4-3-3, David De Gea, Dani Carvajal, Pau Torres, Sergio Ramos, Jose Gaya, Sergio Busquets, Thiago Alcantara, and Fabian Ruiz, Marco Asensio, Ansu Fati, and Rodrigo, who just moved from Valencia to Leeds United. So this is the possible lineup, or how they are going to line up this season. But however, it's going to be a thrilling one between the two sides because they've got abundance of talents. Okay, like we said, we will have other matches that will also follow, just like Russia will play host to Serbia, Turkey will be at home to Hungary in the B of Group 3. Okay, these are just some of them that we have for you this evening. Quickly, we'll leave there and we'll talk about a young player who has been called to the national team based on what he has been able to do, because the manager was also patient with him, and he has now gotten his first call up, which is really a big dream for him. And he said if he gets to debut for the Three Lions, it's going to be a huge one. Talking about Manchester City's wonder kid, Phil Foden, who last season played about over 26 games and scored about 8 goals. Better than what he had last season, and he has given kudos to the manager and Pep Guardiola. So he has made the England team for the very first time, and he says he will be realizing the dream of every kid on the estate if he makes the England team. Because while he was going on the estate, everyone wants to be England players, everyone wants to be the biggest voice when it comes to the national team. And here he finds himself having been able to do very well over the years. Remember, he also won the World Cup under 17 for England, and he was part of that team. But now he has gotten to the big team.
Well, Phil Foden's a talented player. Anything he gets to play for the national team football club, anytime, it's a blessing to them. It depends where you get to play. Behind the striker, just a forward from the right hand side or left hand side, he will give you fantastic football. I don't know, more fantastic talent in that English team. Jadon Sancho is there and others are there. But Phil Foden is a special player. With what Pep Guardiola has done with the young one, I think if he's focused and develop on himself, he's going to be a super world-class player. Right now, there's no David Silva to really put him on the bench. I think he's the next person, probably, if he steps up properly, to take over from where David Silva left off. But playing for the Three Lions, playing for your national team, is a big one. Like, if he gets to play this weekend for the Three Lions, whether he comes off the bench or starts the game for them, I think definitely he's going to enjoy it. I remember when Wayne Rooney started his career with the Three Lions after moving to Manchester United, and it was all smart for him on his debut. Same with Marcus Rashford, same with Jadon Sancho when they finally invited him, when he actually took over right there at Borussia Dortmund. For me, if I were in his shoes, I would be super excited. He must understand one thing: get to the game, play your game, play to the manager's instruction, and enjoy yourself. That's the most important thing. Enjoy yourself.
All right, we're going to first break on the show. When we return, we'll be looking at other stories.
It's to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 90 people go home 1 million naira every day for 90 days. 4 people go win smartphones every hour, every day. You want to pass now the 10 million naira grand prize. If you not be 9 Mobile customer, move from outside or buy a new line. In addition to the 20 millions and smartphones, we will summer you with 1 gigabyte plus 500 naira airtime instant plus up to 100% data boost for 1 year. Recharge 200 naira and above. Make you for the win. Promo starts August 10 and ends November 2020 and is approved by FCCPC.
Mobile.
Sports Fiesta live on 92.7 KFM down here in Benin City. Alright, we'll tell you what to expect later this evening when the UEFA Nations League kicks off between Germany and Spain. As well as also looking at Manchester City's Wonder Kid, Phil Foden, who is so excited joining having his first England call-up. Okay, we'll look at we'll look at it from the business aspect, and we'll look at the English Premier League rights at the moment. And the China deal terminated with immediate effect. That is the English Premier League. They have terminated its £564 million contract with its Chinese licensee with immediate effect. And China was the English top flight's most lucrative overseas television rights territory with a 3-season deal agreed in 2019. From what we are getting, it is understood the reasons for the termination are financial rather than political. But for BBC Sport, they have been told that streaming service PPTV withheld its latest payment of £160 million due in March.
Yeah, the Premier League is has become something that is like a cultural phenomenon all over the world. People follow it religiously. Even in the Middle East, they do, and you saw what happened in the case of the consortium that was trying to take over Newcastle United. They had to, because of some of the problems that they were having with beIN Sports. Saudi Arabia had to cancel the Premier League being streamed in England, or the rights of beIN Sports to stream Premier League in Saudi Arabia. They are the beIN Sports are the only officially recognized a body that shows the Premier League in the Middle East. But it is understood that beIN Sports, of course, are based in Qatar. They are owned by Qataris, and you know the rivalry between the Qataris and the Saudis. The Saudis, they've got BOutQ, beIN Sports complained that these guys are a pirate station and all of that. So it's the Premier League is huge all over the world, and for them to be terminating a contract that is worth £564 million, I mean, it tells you that it is such a huge industry, and the termination is immediate. So they just decided to cancel it because of some of the issues that they've been having. Part payment was not that was supposed to be done in a March was not paid, so they just had to take this action. And it is good that they've told us that it's not political, but somehow when you dig deep, you discover that most of all this is happening, it's actually political. The reason why Roman Abramovich has not been able to enter the UK is political. Because it's not like Roman Abramovich committed an offense in the UK, but because he is part of the Russian oligarchy, he got involved, and they are now paying more attention and trying to scrutinize people that are associated with the Russian government because of some political issues that both countries have. So it also affects sport. But they've told us it is purely commercial. There is nothing political about it. So I don't think the relationship between China and the UK is bad. If it were the United States and China, for instance, you will understand what is happening. What Donald Trump has been saying about them, calling the coronavirus the China virus and everything like that. So in this case, it's not political from what they have told us. I don't know if you probe deeper, if you will find a connection between it, but because it's just something that it's all about money. If you give a license and the rights to air your matches, I don't know how they did the negotiations, whether they were supposed to pay up front or what, but apparently they are supposed to pay later, and now they've told us that they didn't get 160 million, which was due in March, was not made, and all of that. So we hope that they will get to resolve it. The Chinese, I know now, will be very, very disappointed because every continent wants to see the English Premier League. Imagine what will happen in Nigeria if you do not have access to the English Premier League. It is what drives. I get calls from my cable TV suppliers, and every time they are telling me something about increment and everything. Look, the only reason why I have it and why I'm even paying is because of the sport, because of the English Premier League in particular, because there are other services that will show you other leagues, but because they do not have the English Premier League, they are much cheaper than your own. So it's the biggest league in the world in terms of how people watch it. So that's why it is so expensive. So I hope that they will quickly, because if I were based in China, I would be really, really disappointed that I will not get to watch the English Premier League there. Except I don't know if they will do what they will do, because even here in Nigeria there have been some pirate companies showing the English Premier League when they do not have the rights, but now they are trying to block all those outlets to ensure that it's only the rights licensee who gets it.
Okay, the Premier League, they also came out with a statement and said they confirmed it that to date they terminated the agreement for the Premier League coverage in China with licensing in that territory, and it is owned by BPTV, is owned by Sony Holdings, a Chinese group which also has a controlling stake in Serie A. I'm talking about Inter Milan. So that's what is coming out. And quickly, let's talk about come to Nigeria. I'm talking about the Red Stripe Sports. The deal they see with LMC it was a commercial investment deal. We hope that this will also be a path to success for the Nigerian league. The LMC, they entered into a strategic and investment partnership with the Rest Transport to commercialize the Nigeria Professional Football League, and the company will acquire rights from the league management company and the clubs for MPFL marketing to stream live matches every week of the season through MPFL TV, and fans will be able to engage and enjoy TV innovative and groundbreaking next generation 360 platform. So with this, we'll be watching the MPFL matches live, and that's where you have to see the big ones, just like you have the Winter Derby between Imba International and Rangers International, and also other big matches. Yes, the South Coastal Derby and all that. So this is one way to go about commercializing and also marketing the Nigerian Professional Football League.
I just want to see the Nigerian Professional Football League on air. This one that they're talking about, the MPFL TV. How are we going to get it? I've not had the explanation of, is it that it will be available on terrestrial television, or I have to go and buy the decoder from the MPFL to start watching it? Yeah, so I would love to have all this explanation. Sorry?
Maybe to download the app.
So is it online? How do we get to see it? I would really love for them to explain all of these things. See, if you were showing just one match, there was one time when I was growing up, in the 80s, they used to have this beverage that was sponsoring a match every week. Just that one match a week that they will show, the star match of the day. Maybe it is Abiola Babes versus IRCC Shooting Stars, or maybe Bendel Insurance versus Rangers. They will pick the biggest match of the week and show it. It's not even live, it's recorded. But following that alone, I got to know so much about Nigerian league football. So just put it on air. Let people be saying it. And then there was one time a very good friend, Yomi Kuku, produced. I think it was Tajidin Adekwete that had that production. They did this front row, which they just is kind of like a recap of everything that happening in Nigeria Professional Football League. Following that program alone, you got to know so much about the Nigerian Professional Football League. So if you have a way of letting the fans see the Nigerian Professional Football League, like most people in Nigeria who follow football have not traveled to England, but they know so much about the Nigerian Professional Football League. I've never been to England, but I can mention all the 20 clubs that are in the English Premier League because every week I get to see the English Premier League on TV. So if you do that, it's not magic, it's not rocket science. You would, almost everybody that follows sport will know about the Nigerian Professional Football. So I'm super delighted that they are doing this, but we've had some of these things in the past. It looks fantastic on paper and everything, but it never came to fruition. Or they will start it and after some time it just goes down. So we really love to. There was one time I said, I posted on Facebook, to hell with Lionel Messi. I'm watching Sikiro Olatubosun. There was
MFN.
Yes, he scored a hat trick. There was one time that was it a hat trick or
it was a goal scored that one.
Yeah, fantastic goal, and then they were showing it on TV. It was going on then. Barcelona were playing. I said, to hell, I'm not watching Barcelona. I am watching the Nigerian Professional Football League. I'm watching MFM and I'm watching Sikiro Olatubosun. So it's giving me more excitement than Lionel Messi. And people on Facebook were saying, really? I'm like, go and watch it. Go and see what is happening in the Nigerian Professional Football League. But I cannot say that right now. Well, coronavirus, we do not even have the MPFL. But even before the COVID, the MPFL wasn't really on TV. I mean, we didn't get to see it. So I hope that they will bring it back, put it on TV, and it should be affordable to Nigerians. It would be fantastic if they can put it on terrestrial TV. But even if it is going to be a pay TV, let it be something that Nigerians can afford. Do not put it somewhere that you have to spend so much in a month to get it, and the situation of the country, and the head of the house will be saying the Shana football will go chop. we need something else.
Well, what they are telling us, they are going to build the MPFL clubs. They are going to be working with them to build a dedicated app to integrate with the MPFL TV and enhance the revenue base of the clubs. So let's,
as I said, fantastic on paper. But you know how these things work in this country, you know, because you will start hearing things. You see how frustrating it is to even get your money from ATMs in Nigeria, the tele network issue.
Yeah. Your own money.
even sometimes, unfortunately, service providers, people who even work with are supposed to be on their service is online. They will be telling you they have network issues. So if it's going to be that you are working with an app, and look, I think the best thing for Nigerian football is to just put this thing on terrestrial TV. They can work out the payments and everything. I think it would be best to be on terrestrial TV. Let Nigerians be able to afford it. How many Nigerians have got smartphones? You know, real people who follow football, that you think you would want to reach every household if this thing is on an app and everything.
If you want a smartphone, you're not going to subscribe. I think
you want a situation where the whole family will gather and they'll be watching it, not just maybe the eldest brother has it on his phone and he goes into his room and he's watching it and he doesn't want anybody to disturb it and all that. Well, I hope let them try something. Let us see it. I hope it works, but I'm thinking of something that will be accessible to everybody, the largest number of persons, so that we can see this and really enjoy it. And look, I will advise them, even if they are doing this, let them do something else that will support this. That even if it's not live matches, just have a program dedicated to the Nigerian professional football. You can have Arsenal TV, Chelsea TV, Manchester United TV. If you watch them, you learn so much about the club. It's not live now. It's not live. Except maybe sometimes there is a match and they tell you, okay, this match will be live on Arsenal TV. You know, so if you have the NPFL TV that will be showing, even if it is 1 hour every week on channels, on AIT, on any NTA, any of our terrestrial TV stations that people can see all over the country. Honestly, it will go a long way. People will start following the Nigerian professional football league, and when they see it on TV, they watch it and it is beautiful. The next week, believe me, the number of persons that will go to the stadium will increase. You're not showing the matches live. You're not showing the matches live on TV, you know, but you are still getting a certain awareness. You are creating awareness about the team. If you have Bendel Insurance TV that you are showing every week, or even if it is once in 2 weeks or whatever, but so long as people are seeing it and you can go there and even watch old matches, believe me, every time that Bendel Insurance has a match, people want to go to the stadium, especially if you can do a behind the scene. You interview the fans and people know that, I could go to the stadium and I will be interviewed and I will be on Bendel Insurance TV, and when they play it at this time of the week, everybody will see it. Believe me, every time you see how that stadium will be full.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Let's see how this will go between Red Strike and LMC. Okay, back to Europe, and let's talk about discrimination. Yes, it hasn't been really nice when it comes to discrimination and also racial injustice and all that. But kick it out. They have revealed it for the 2% increase in reports of discrimination in English professional football last season, and they described it as shocking. And the anti-discrimination charity says reports it received rose from 313 in 2018-2019 to 446, despite some games being behind the closed doors. Well, I don't know how they're going to go about this. And the poll also found that that 71% are simply as targeted by racism on social media. Yes, this is not something that is new. Most of the big tech players that have also resigned, some of them, it has to do with social media, and that is why we have to always condemn it. But the increase, this is really, really disturbing.
Yeah, it is. With the way things are going, if we don't kind of educate these people, it's going to escalate. I mean, the increase, the 42% increase in racial abuse, is disturbing seriously. These lads from the big background, they are on the pitch yes, they are being paid to win, but most important that they go out there to entertain you. Wilfred Zaha last season, the fans didn't need to be in the stadium after the restart because he scored against a particular club, and that goal ended up winning the game for Crystal Palace. People went on social media to racially abuse this man, not because he offended anybody. Maybe you guys had issues, which obviously is not right, but probably you guys had issues, and during the time you guys were exchanging words, he said some stuff. Because he scored for a football club, he's paid to create chances or have assists or score goals. He did that, and he was racially abused. And these things that I don't know how they are going to remove it from the society because of the way the government are going about it. I'm not talking about the United Kingdom, I'm talking about government in the world. There are things, listening to the CNN yesterday, and the Attorney General Williams Barr said that why are they blaming the policeman that shot 7 times at Jacob Blake? Why? He was doing his job.
For shooting
7 times, not armed man, an investigation is going on, and you are the Attorney General. You look at so many things that they say, they kind of encourage this, people to go out there. I mean, look at the young one that had automatic weapon, and the policeman asked him to go, and he went on to do something stupid. But
no, it was after he had shot people, so he was running away, and the people were chasing him. Were telling the police this guy just killed people. He just shot people. He just killed 2 people, and they allowed him to go. It was the next day that he was arrested.
But
so
if it's just a black man walking with a toy gun, whether he's black or he's a Latino, with a toy gun,
you're going for it.
They will have to do something stupid. I'm not saying not going for it. Arresting someone, then charging him to court and find that he's guilty or not. It's even better than when they shoot at you right there without arresting you. The young man, they went to his house to respectfully arrest him after killing 2 people. So I just hope that with the messages now that sport is sending out, when I mean sport, talking about football, talking about tennis, rugby, everybody's sending out, I hope that they can educate these people properly and see that there's only one race. That's the most important thing. You die as a white man, where are you buried? 6 feet under the ground. You die as a Latino, you're buried 6 feet under the ground. You die as a black man, African American or an African, you are being buried down under the 6 feet. So there's really no discrimination. Your skin is not as beautiful, more beautiful than the other person. You are beautiful, you are nice, you are intelligent in your own way. Until we all see that, then the world, we can move forward, seriously.
Okay, we'll see how things will pan out. We'll say the kick it out. Let's see if things will get better. Okay, quickly, let's talk about the England women's. Like I told you before, during the introduction, I told you England men's and women's teams, they are now receiving equal pay. And the last time they both were in action, for the men and the women, they got the same amount of money. Right, yes, Ryan Sterling plays for the 3 Lions, while Christy Nofty plays for the 3 Lionesses. And when they played the last time, they got equal pay. So this is really good, as they have come out to make that announcement that they are getting the equal amount of money. And it follows that of Brazil, who also said that the national team have been getting the same pay.
I'm looking for the first African country that will implement this. Because we've had it from South America, Brazil, and now Europe are doing it. So let's say who will be the first to do it in Africa. I will 100% buy it if they start paying the Super Falcons and the Super Eagles the same, because I do not see what the Super Eagles are doing that the women have not been able to do. You can argue that but men's football generates more followership. Yes, it is true, but that is not to say that pound for pound the Super Falcons are not better. They are better than the Super Eagles, because you look at how well they have dominated Africa and compare it to the Super Eagles, and you see that the Super Eagles have really not done much. So for Brazil, of course, their men have performed better than their women. Their men are the most successful. But if Brazil can decide to pay the men and the women the same thing, I don't see why any other country should not think along the same line. And as we said in the morning, it's not like it is anybody's money. It is the government's money.
Yeah.
So if the government decides that this is what we should do, every government should decide this and say we are giving the women the same thing as we are giving the men. It's just that women's football has been neglected largely all over the world. Even FIFA is just now that they are pushing it and saying the future of football is feminine, and that's why you see them trying to do what they can to improve the women's game. But for many years, people largely ignored it. And you look at what's happening. Look at the FA Cup for women. How much do they get? Look at even the league champions. How much do they get? You can't compare it to the team that finishes last in the English Premier League. You can't even compare it to what the championship teams, what they get. So it's all over the world. And we hope that there will be a change of orientation. People will begin to see women's football for what it is, which is really something that is beautiful. As I said, I even enjoy watching women's football more than the men, because the men are too tactical. The women, they play with a certain level of freedom. It's just the way I enjoy youth football more than when it is at the elite level, because those are the elite level. They get too tactical and everything. You just go there and enjoy yourself. Then if my skill is superior, I'll win. That's basically what it is. But when you start having, if you want to really look at the tactics and everything, it is at the very, very senior level that you get to see that. And for the men, it is the same. They tend to be a bit more like that, but the women basically just go out there and enjoy themselves and play the game.
Well, congratulations for being for announcing that since January. Come on, like we just said, Nigeria should follow suit. Okay, quickly let's talk about boxing, where Efe Ajagba vows to dethrone Anthony Joshua. He was interviewed, and because he felt that he has gotten more skills than that of Anthony Joshua, who has got power. But then, he's an heavyweight boxer, and also Anthony Joshua is an heavyweight boxer. But he was interviewed by Sky Sports, and he was confident and said that he will beat Anthony Joshua. Well, I don't know when this will finally happen, but I also that Sunday it will get to happen.
Efe Ajagba is a very good boxer. I've seen him box, and I think he's really good. He's a Nigerian Olympian, has presented us at the Olympics and everything. But I think he's talking too much, or it's either he doesn't really understand some of the questions that they ask him, and he ends up talking too much. And he's talking too much about Anthony Joshua. I don't like that. Even though Anthony Joshua didn't represent Nigeria, but he proudly associates with Nigeria. So I don't know. The other time he was being interviewed, and I was reading the comments on YouTube, and people were saying it's like if he did not really understand the question, because he was talking like nobody knows Anthony Joshua in Nigeria. I'm like, are you kidding me? Nobody knows Anthony Joshua in Nigeria. When Anthony Joshua visited Nigeria, the streets of Lagos, everywhere he went, there was traffic. When he went to Shagamu, it was the same thing everywhere. If Anthony Joshua comes to Benin and we announce it here that Anthony Joshua is at Ring Road, believe me, that place will be packed full. So what is Efe Ajagba saying when he says that nobody knows Anthony Joshua? So even in that interview, he was talking about if he gets the opportunity, he will beat Anthony Joshua. Look, just young man, concentrate on your career. Try and go. Get to look, Anthony Joshua, take it or leave it, he's got the clouds. He can even help the career of Efe Ajagba, except maybe if it's a strategy. If he's talking this way to get the attention, and they will tell him there's one Nigerian boy that is talking about you, and then Anthony Joshua calls him and say, oh boy, I want to make you know that I didn't hear. So if that is the plan, I have no problem with that, but maybe I should say, okay, try and reach him, don't be doing it in public. But if he's genuinely just thinking about dethroning Anthony Joshua, the only heavyweight boxer out there, except why I've not had him really talk about Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder or any of the other boxers. It's always Anthony Joshua.
He's trying to get attention, and we hope he gets that.
Talking about. So I think he should just concentrate. Let it be one fighter. You've not fought Alexander Usyk. You've not fought Derek Chisora. You're talking about Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
Already, he created he became, I think most people got to know him after
the opponent
walked out.
Yeah.
When the moment they rang the bell, the guy just stepped out of the ring and it became a meme. People were talking about it and people said it was because he knew that he was going to get knocked out. And then people started to Google Efe Ajagba and they saw that most of his fights he went around, he has knocked the opponent and they said, oh, no wonder this guy ran out of the ring and did not fight. But of course, we all know, those of us in the industry know that he stepped out because he was protesting against his pay. That's why he did not even get on with that fight with Efe. I believe that Efe would have knocked him out anyway, you know. So I think he should use that newfound popularity to great effect by just concentrating on this fight. But when you start talking crap about Anthony Joshua, you're going to get negative press from the supporters of Anthony Joshua. They are going to come at you and start saying certain things. And if it trends and it is negative and people look at it and say, oh, this guy has just been running his mouth about Anthony Joshua, it might not be very good for him. But as I said, maybe it is to gain attention and but even if that were the case, I think he's going about it the wrong way.
All right, we will try and follow as open, but before we do that, let's quickly look at Formula One. Yes, the Williams family, they've told us that they were leaving the team founded by Sir Frank Williams more than 40 years ago after this weekend's Italian Grand Prix, where they won 9 Constructors' Championship since 1977. And really touching that they found out that it will be difficult for them to continue to run the company due to some financial difficulties, and now they've sold that investment. So I think this is the time.
They dominated in the 80s and in the 90s, and they've won 7 drivers championship. That tells you how good they are. But the Williams, it's a case of Williams leaving Williams. The daughter, Claire Williams, who is the deputy team principal, and then the elder Williams are both said now that they are leaving, and it's going to be at this weekend's Grand Prix. After the Grand Prix, then they are going to step away, and it was because of financial difficulties. And the last time that they won a Grand Prix was not even winning the championship, but just to win a race. It was in 2012. Yeah, and since then, the last 2 championships they finished last. You know, so it's not something that they want to go on to do. So they've eventually sold the company. I'm sure they will still be looking at it with a keen eye. But I don't know. I think we might see a change in name. It might not be Williams again, since you have a new investor taking over.
All right, guys, reach us on 070-6263-9275, 090-3939-4427, and 081-2178-9154. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Oh, Kingsley from Technical School. You've got 1 minute. Your time starts now. Hello. Hello. Good evening. I'm very fine, by Mr. Philip Otobo. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, sir.
We can hear you. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. This is Austin calling from Accra.
Okay, Austin, go ahead. Thank you. Arsenal. Margaret from Leeds has joined them. I think they've also signed William from Chelsea. That's two. What they are looking at other players.
Cedric is a permanent deal for them now, so that's fresh for them. Cedric.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. You can play. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much for telling us what to expect. Hello. All right, let's get one or two calls, then look at the SMS and for wrapping it up this evening. Hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening. Okay, Friday from Benin. Talk to us.
No, sir. No, sir. It is not. It is the money that FIFA pays to Nigeria that the federal government used to give Super Eagles allowances. No. It's not FIFA money now. FIFA money is for development of football in your country. So it is not like it is money. What you are saying, I understand what you are saying. That the prize money for the women is lesser than what the men get. That's the fact, and maybe FIFA will stay up on that. But what we are saying now is the country should not. You shouldn't be saying that because of it's not because of prize money that countries participate in football now. So it's not. This is government money we are talking about. It's not like because of the money that you bring home from FIFA or from CAF. That's not it. So they should be paying. No, that's what I'm telling you. No, they don't use the money. If they were using the money now, if the federal government, you think when the Super Eagles go to play in the World Cup, and when they are giving the prize money, when they break it down, they say, okay, because you got to this stage of the World Cup, this is the money. You think they are paying it to the government? They're not giving it to the government. It is the FA, and they have when they use it, they even pay the money. Most of the money even goes to the players themselves. So that's not. It's not an excuse to say because of when the women go to play competitions, this is the little that comes out of it. So because of that, the government should be paying them less. They don't just follow at all. Two completely different things.
Let's look at the SMS and see what we can say.
Yeah, this one says, please, do they pay national team players equally or differently like clubs? Hey, you mean, okay, maybe the Super Eagles now, they went for there is one match, then you say, okay, Victor Osimhen, because he be small boy, he just they come in, take $2,000. The Ahmed Musa, you be captain, take $5,000. No, they pay them is equally. They don't discriminate that way like you have in the club when they're on salaries. They're okay. You negotiate your contract. So national team, you don't negotiate anything. Even if they are going to negotiate, it's going to be collectively.
Yeah.
But will say, okay, for every match, this is what you pay us. Yeah. For every draw, this is what we get. And sometimes you see the federal government, even though they've told them it is $5,000 we'll give you, but because they are so happy about the win, they just say, in fact, we are giving you $10,000. Or sometimes it's a draw, and for a draw, they are not supposed to pay them the full wage. They just tell them, because we were impressed with your performance, we'll pay you the full $5,000 for the draw. Okay? So this one says, good day, sportsman, Oga Ibra, truth will not kill you, always stand for the truth. You should have been the best judge or lawyer Nigeria could have. May God bless you. I don't know why people blaming Nigeria. Okay, I don't know why people blaming Barca from Dilo. Okay, from Dilo. This one says, as a Madrid fan, I learned about Donny van de Beek the hard way. He is a very hard tackling player who can take up any position in United's midfield three. Fantastic player. Barcelona are too desperate to keep Messi. That is the truth. How come they are allowing other players live for free but wouldn't let Messi go? Is he a slave? Just wait 1 minute. And we'll see what that is.
Yeah, it's like from all this data we are getting.
You might stay.
We have a U-turn.
You might stay. I said, look, this is just drama queen stuff.
Yeah, let's take one.
Good day, man of wisdom and sports dictionary. Oga Ibrahim, God bless you for your explanation. Hope Madrid.com is listening to you. Pius from Ogida.
Alright, guys, this is where we have to drop our call on the show. Don't worry, tomorrow is Friday. We'll be here with the latest updates from the world of our sports. Many thanks to you guys for being part of it, and to my strike partners for doing this evening. We'll see you tomorrow, but stick on to the frequency, and we are having a news break in the next 2 minutes. Have a wonderful evening ahead, and bye-bye.